times these police precincts or these DA office, they actually get like a hard on for like an artist or someone who they feel has evaded them. They're used to working with the judge and working the criminal justice system and the courts, and they have favorable outcomes. So when somebody beats them, they usually try to get their
NB. A young rapper is currently in a predicament that has admirers wondering about his independence and what lies ahead for him, outside of the music industry's millions. When someone snitched on YB when he was riding dirty in Utah, it led to a traffic stop that could have sent him back to prison. However, the startling reality is that Mellow Rackz and his driver prevented him from apprehending another instance. It's much deeper than anyone could have predicted. And we're going to dissect it all. Family, pay attention, we're delving deeply into actual street loyalty and federal pressure that's upending the hip-hop industry. When the temperature lowers, this is precisely the kind of situation that reveals who is genuinely riding for you. However, before we reach all, let's get down to the wild specifics. Stories of how YB was stopped in Utah and managed to get away with it, but his team wasn't so fortunate have gone viral on social media. We're going to show you exactly what happened on that highway by separating fact from fiction, the real from the fake. For NB, the young rapper, and his group, it completely changed everything. A state trooper pulled over this multi-platinum musician while they were traveling down Interstate 15, citing a traffic infraction. Here's the worst part though. This wasn't just any old pullover. The authorities had been lurking, waiting for an opportunity to relock YB after someone snitched and told the police about potential drugs in the car. Don't get it wrong now. It wasn't just misfortune or being in the wrong location at the wrong time. No, family. This is a far more complex scenario. We're talking about a direct, well-coordinated attempt to identify YB's weakness, and he would be facing severe federal time right now if it weren't for the loyalty of the folks in that car with him. Additionally, it becomes even hotter. This is still a contentious issue for the feds. Whether or if the president pardons him, they are determined to put him back in jail. Look at this then. About 4:30 p.m., NBA YoungBoy is traveling with 3 other persons at Utah time. Him, Mellow Rackz, riding shotgun, a male driver behind the wheel, and him lounging in the back seat. They appear to be in the clear as they speed along Interstate 15, but all of a sudden, the red and blue lights appear in their rearview mirror. We all know that you have to be cautious when you're rolling with someone hot on the streets, and YB is definitely hot with the feds. However, someone turned on the police, according to Fox 13 Utah. Please be aware that there were illegal narcotics in this particular car. That's just plain snitching. Not a cap. The police were phoned by someone who was either in YB's social circle or simply observing his movements, and they were informed of the particular vehicle he was in and what they would discover. They are stopped by a Utah Highway Patrol trooper who claims they have committed a traffic infraction. However, the true tale behind those flashing lights is known to everybody. The police are currently looking for probable cause to search the vehicle after receiving that tip. Family. That's where the legal game gets complicated. Cannabis is still completely prohibited in Utah. No recreational pass, no medical loophole, it's outright forbidden. That's all he has to do when the trooper approaches and claims to smell marijuana. Justify looking through the entire vehicle. Illicit narcotics were discovered and confiscated after the search. The Utah Highway Patrol's official statement is that, and everyone in that car knew exactly what was going to happen as soon as those drugs were found. This is the point at which loyalty is put to the test, revealing who is truly supporting the team and who is going to give way under duress. This is when things get even more bizarre. Mellow Rackz and the driver asserted their possession of the narcotics right away. They immediately notified the police. That's ours, not his. They took immediate responsibility, fully aware that they would be subject to severe legal repercussions in a state that has already taken action against NBA YoungBoy. According to reports, the Utah County Attorney's Office is handling the driver's and Mellow Rackz's charges, but not YB's. The rapper left the traffic stop unscathed. No charges, no arrest. All because 2 individuals determined that his freedom was more valuable than their own. Now, this is correct. This is the precise point at which you can comprehend the true dynamics of loyalty and how this industry functions. Simply put, NBA YoungBoy is the money. He is the one who earns millions, provides for families, covers expenses, and ensures that everyone is comfortable. Everyone who's eating off his grind will immediately return to struggling if the police take him back to prison. YB's freedom and ability to stack that paper are essential to Mellow Rackz, the driver, and their families. The real stinger, though, is this. In Utah, facing a drug accusation is serious. We're talking about possible jail time, hefty fines, and a criminal record that may ruin your life for years. Nevertheless, they considered the circumstances, determined the danger, and made the decision. Keep YB safe at all costs, because everyone suffers if he fails. Consider it. No tours, no songs, and no checks coming in while he's incarcerated. To keep the money coming for everyone around him, they practically give up their independence. Here's the deal for people who don't understand how crews work or street loyalty. There is an unwritten code when you are a member of someone's squad, particularly when that person is as well known as NBA YoungBoy. The person who makes the most money and serves as the operation's face is always protected. It's survival, not just friendship or loyalty. Maintaining his freedom keeps the money flowing so that everyone can eat. This is the crazy part. The federal government is continuing to seek, circle, and plan their next move. NBA YoungBoy is the public's biggest nemesis. Let me explain why this 2024 traffic stop was very likely much more than a chance bust. NB faced severe federal firearms accusations that might have ruined his career and resulted in actual jail time. However, in a move that startled, he was pardoned by the president, everyone. The case was locked down for the government. The president intervened and erased everything just as they were about to put him in jail. Do you really believe those federal prosecutors simply ignored it? No. Family. They had been circling, waiting for an opportunity to catch up with him. It was broken by DJ Academics, down on his show, cautioning that Utah is out for him and that YB must proceed with caution. Recall that in 2024, he became entangled in a prescription medicine fraud ring in this same state. He believed he was done with Utah after paying a $25,000 fine, but they haven't forgotten. After defeating the system once, they recall using a presidential pardon to defeat it twice. They are currently looking for strike 3. Even though YB didn't claim the narcotics, Utah investigators acknowledged they were investigating if his criminal history could have an impact on this case. Everything you need to know about how much they want him is right there. The federal government is looking for any opportunity to link him to those narcotics and use a violation of parole or probation. This isn't just about this one stop family. Everyone is concerned about NBA YoungBoy's future due to a general pattern of behavior. Why don't you learn from your mistakes and continue to act like a crash dummy? He is hazardous to everyone around him, as well as to himself, because he is careless and doesn't even seem to worry about going back to jail. Him. This is clearly not his first time dealing with drug-related allegations, so let's speak about his past. Over the years, YB has been involved in several drug-related incidents. He continues putting himself in situations where the law can catch him, from possession charges to prescription fraud. And each time he avoids difficulty or wins a case rather than learning, he immediately returns to the same dangerous maneuvers. That is the behavior of a crash dummy. A crash dummy repeatedly engages in risky behavior with varying outcomes. When the walls begin to close in, they don't adapt or learn from the repercussions, and YB is a wonderful fit for that description. The streets have been conversing. He frequently moves with narcotics. He's continuously placing himself in grave danger, whether it's for personal use or simply having them around. And everyone in his immediate vicinity is aware of it. Additionally, he is a multi-millionaire rapper who recently received a pardon from the president. That is blatantly careless, family. That is detrimental to oneself. Consider it. You just avoided going to federal jail. Millions are being earned by you. You continue to drive around with narcotics in your car when your family depends on you. It's not a street. That's not being authentic. That is just plain foolish, not a cap. But let's keep it at 100 and consider the wider picture. NBA YoungBoy's involvement with narcotics and firearms is not the only reason the feds want him. They want him because he stands for something beyond of their control. He is a young black man who has consistently outperformed their system, earned millions and inspired millions of fans. Each time he avoids prosecution, receives a pardon, or defeats a case, it reveals their vulnerability. Their authority is compromised. They're not going to quit either. They are keeping an eye on him, building cases, and waiting for him to make a mistake. If they are unable to reach him directly, they will put pressure on others who are close to him. In order to protect NBA YoungBoy and convey a message, They will use Melos and the driver as examples, and you will pay the price. The true query is whether YB will take something away from this. Will he start acting more wisely after realizing that his freedom is in jeopardy? Or will he continue to act like a crash dummy until the feds get what they want? Let's examine the actual issues at hand. The federal government has more power than ever to prosecute YB if he is found guilty of any further charges while he is still under investigation due to the presidential pardon. They may claim that he is dangerous, that he has not learnt, and that he should receive the harshest punishment possible, and there won't be a pardon to save him this time. That driver and Mellow Rackz bought him some time. They offered him an opportunity to organise his life and make wiser decisions. However, if he misses that opportunity and continues to ride carelessly, their sacrifice is wasted. While YB is back in jail, they will be in court facing drug-related accusations. Here is the complete picture of YB's legal history for those who haven't been following it. Since the beginning of his career, he has been detained several times. He has been in and out of jail, served time in prison, been placed under home arrest, worn ankle monitors, and been charged with assault, firearms, and drugs. Despite all of this, he continues to make the same mistakes. Some claim that he is genuinely living what he raps about, which is a component of his authenticity. However, being genuine and self-destructive are two different things. Being genuine doesn't have to mean placing yourself in risky circumstances all the time. There needs to be a discussion about that in the culture. We honour artists who remain family. Street, who remain the same after receiving money. But at what price? How many gifted rappers have died or gone to prison as a result of their inability to adapt? How many families were split up because one member refused to make a better decision? NBA YoungBoy has what it takes to be among the best of his generation. He has the musical, the fans, and the work ethic. Talent, but if he's incarcerated, none of that counts. If he continues to give the feds reasons to target him, none of it matters. Let's also discuss the individuals in his immediate vicinity. They are trapped in unfeasible situations. For him, Mellow Rackz took a charge. Loyalty is that. That is true. Sacrifice. However, what happens if YB is out creating music with other people while she's incarcerated? What happens if the driver is unable to find employment due to a criminal record? Will YB ensure that they are as straight as they were when he was in the hood? Loyalty is meant to be reciprocal. You accept responsibility for someone is meant to protect you. Family support, legal bills, and maintaining your integrity when you're down. However, there are many tales in the music business of people taking over for musicians and then being abandoned when they were no longer needed. That's the reality of the game, though I'm not suggesting that's exactly what will occur here. That driver and Mellow Rackz had best hope for the NBA. When it comes time to return the favour, YoungBoy recalls what they did for him. In the end, YB's predicament involves more than simply narcotics, traffic stops, and informants. It's about repercussions, loyalty, power, and the true cost of celebrity. This is about a young man who has amassed millions of dollars, but is unable to break out from the way of life that brought him there. It's about individuals who are prepared to jeopardize their freedom for the prosperity of others, and a system that is committed to punishing anyone who fails them. What comes next is the true question. Will YB start acting more wisely after learning from this near miss? Will he come to the realization that his freedom is more valuable than any fleeting high or street cred gained from doing drugs? Or will he continue to act like a crash dummy until the feds get what they want? What about the driver and Mellow Rackz? Will the Utah County Attorney determine it is not worth prosecuting them, or will they be subject to serious charges? Will YB step up and look out for them the same way they looked out for him if they do? These are the queries that the culture needs to be addressed. This is not a recent development. It serves as a warning. We must urge that our artists move more intelligently and cease applauding careless behaviour. When they endanger themselves and those around them, we must hold them responsible. Each time an artist is imprisoned, we lose a voice, a talent, and a portion of our culture when they are taken away from us. NBA YoungBoy has had more opportunities than most folks. He has won cases, been pardoned, and had others give up their freedom for him. What will he do with all those opportunities is the current question. Will he continue to act carelessly, or will he understand that he has too much at stake? Utah, the federal government, and the entire hip-hop community are all keeping an eye on this. He could lose everything he's built if he makes one more mistake. What if Mellows assumed that responsibility on his behalf? In the streets, loyalty is put to the test. Will YB respect it, or will he? Until it's too late, continue to be a crash dummy. We would want to know your thoughts. Post your opinions in the comments section right now. Hit the like button. Send this video to all of your friends, and remember to subscribe to Rap Uncovered and enable notifications. We're just getting started, and the streets never stop. There are a ton more tales to reveal. Every day we release heat, and tomorrow's upload will be even more insane, profound, and unmissable. To learn more about the legal issues your favourite rappers are experiencing, click the video on the screen. Real street politics, real repercussions, and real loyalty are being put to the test. Family, be careful out there, and never forget that losing everything is not worth any amount of street credibility. Here at Rap Uncovered, we'll see you in the upcoming one. The reality of the streets endures.